All right, so I'm choosing to do this video just because for years and years and years I used Logic. That was my main DAW. I used Logic 8. I skipped 9 and then bought 10. And it was my DAW up until probably a year ago when I messed with Ableton. And I love Ableton because it just does, it inspires me to use it and play more and there's all kinds of stuff I can get involved in that takes me away from just the basics of using a DAW, which I think is what bores people the most, is that they use a DAW. They see it as just like a timeline, put their stuff on and arrange it and mix it, and then they're done. And so a lot of times people don't want to get into them to create. And so I respect that. I get why they feel. I'm going to brighten this up. Hopefully it shows pops right. So I get that. I respect it and I understand it. For me, though, the iPad would be, I don't use it as much really to do a lot of music on it. Sometimes I'll start something on it and never finish, or I'll use just the instruments, which I still like, just using the instruments into the SP. Right, these are 2 chord progressions I put together. Some live sounding drums, or I should say real sounding drums. And sometimes you just want to put together a pattern, and then you want to be able to just send that pattern straight over without having to do the whole export, multi-pad stuff. Yeah. So anyway, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, well, Logic is on the iPad, and I think I have it for like another 10 days, 15 days to try it out. So let's see if I could use it. And of course, when you get into anything, you kind of get frustrated initially because it doesn't do everything I wanted to do. And it's not like this is my first time trying it. I've tried it before. I just don't like the layout of it because everything's behind or tucked away in a menu somewhere. And so it's a bit frustrating, all that 50 touches I got to do to get stuff moved. And I say that and I'm using an SP, but whatever. So the metronomes here, that's nice. Got a little tuner. It's kind of nice to use. Okay, so don't need it all the time. But for just arranging the audio, here's my mouse. I'll use that. You'll see me point too because I'm using touch, obviously. So I like to put in each part. One of the things I learned just now is that, because at first I was like, why don't they just, when you right click and go to edit, show an editor, why don't they let you right click and just, I mean, of course they got a stem splitter. I'm not worried about that right now, but normalize stuff. That's what I kind of wanted to do. So to do that, you have to use this side over here, but it's confusing because what is the difference when I look at a track versus when I look at a region? What does that mean? So, it's like learning lingo, right? You got to learn their lingo of whatever it is. So to me, they should have put it here, but whatever. So there is a difference between your mixer track. This is the mixer track here, volume, versus when you just want to increase the gain of an actual wave. So just to show you that there is a lot of menu jumping, so bear with me. If you want to increase the gain, let's say just of this track, you have to do it here using this. So you have to click on the track you want or the part. Because if you notice here, Logic, when you duplicate another part or copy another part, it will give it a different file name. So see the project name here, 0.2, and this one says 0.4. So it's not like I could just adjust. I mean, ideally you select them all, which I guess you could, and then you just increase the gain. So that's probably cool, but you got to select them to do that. See how it says 2 selected? Now, if you don't, then you just get the 1. So if you want, like when I went to click on this one, it's fine because I'm only increasing the volume. So it was just figuring out that I need to put the gain here up so I can boost the volume in there. So because I'm doing this before I go into the mixer. The mixer is the last step. And I want to have all my levels right before I go to a mixer. And what I mean by levels, I mean per track levels. So I'm not like overly impressed with Logic because, like I said, I've used it for so long, and it's still the same thing for me for the most part. The only difference with this one is trying to figure out the little quirks of where they tuck stuff at. Because in the regular Logic, you can double click on the editor. Well, first of all, if you double click, it would show the editor, and then you can just right click, and then I think it's not right click, but it might be one of the features that are up here in the corner. You could just adjust it. So yeah. Now, am I going to keep this? Probably not, because I don't record into the iPad that much. Most of the time I'm recording out from the iPad into the SP, and then I'll probably send everything back over to Ableton where I would probably finish because I have more instruments. But you know, at least I did figure out you can do it, right? That's the key for me, is just figuring out that you can do it. You see I'm using a mouse because I don't like touching it that much, I'll be honest. I'm not impressed by touch anymore. I've been touching on this thing for so long now, I'm just tired of it in some ways. So you can do your little dropouts. I'm so much quicker on Ableton now that this is like a slow process, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just what it is, right? I also miss being able to quickly do that and then join them. You can join in here. So I just did that there. Right click, join. So that speeds up the workflow a little bit. There, now you don't have so many files to... I hate that it doesn't just leave it whatever. Like, why won't this just represent the same name as this? I got to go back to name. Okay, there we go. Name regions by track. That works. So name regions by track. Okay, so that's nice. By track. Same here, name region by track. So there's some good in this, and I'm not sitting here saying this is a terrible thing. This is actually really good. I don't want to pay $5 a month, nor do I want to pay $50 a year. I just don't want to pay for Logic when I already have Logic on desktop, and it works way better than this. So I can't recommend it for myself. But if you're strictly iPad, if I was only on the iPad, I would go Logic. Only on the iPad, definitely go Logic because it's the best. And here's something that's special about it. I'll show you real quick because I do have to give it some props. I don't know why they don't allow everything to do this, but you do know that we have a stereo output, which is on the SP, which is 3.4. If you set it to this, it allows you to play. This is playing through the SP. But I recorded this in without the click. Now, if you don't change that, it will record in the click from here as well as this. So you have to go to use the SP with it. You need to change. You're going to leave the in and out. It is what it is. Automatically detect it. If you turn off auto detect, then you have to punch them in what you want. But at least it lets you pick, which is nice because it usually don't. So I'm going to leave that on. I'm fine with that. Then down here, just make sure you switch it to 3.4. So that way it's the output is going a different way and you don't have to deal with it recording the click. Auto freeze. I ain't worried about that. All right, so anyway, that's how you set it up. Just plug in the SP. You see I have it just plugged in. And then if there's anything you need for recording, you can adjust in here. It does say 24-bit, but the SP runs 16-bit only, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure we don't have 24-bit in here. So I'm not sure how that's working out, but it is what it is. So there's your setup, just in case you were wondering. And the good thing about this is you don't really have to stem out your stuff if you do it this way. But you would have to hit it or play it on beat. So this is just another option. Literally all I did was click here, double click. It gives me an audio track, right? Then you can rename it whatever you want. You could do drums. I'm gonna turn these off to show you real quick how I did it. I'm just gonna call it drums. I'm gonna drum in whatever I want. All right, so let's do it live. Oops. Make sure you're on this track so it doesn't record over the other ones. Get a count in. Hold up. I meant to turn the metronome on. You do need a metronome of some sort. All right, here we go. Oops, I messed up. That's terrible drumming. But anyway, you get the point. You could adjust here if you want. So it would be nice just to have a straight duplicate. Like, what do I have to do? What else do I have to do here just to get it to duplicate it? I mean, other than now I got to copy. Then I got to click here. Then I got to go paste it ahead. There you go. Now you got them together. Maybe take your end off if you want to drop the drums. Do that and then join them. Disable audio unit. Reload. I don't know what they're talking about. All right, so there you go. So then right, so we can turn the metronome, the click off if you want. Besides that loud hat that I got going on right there. So other than that, there you go. That's pretty much all I did. I'm going to get rid of this track here. See, when I click here, is duplicate here to duplicate. But why can't we just duplicate anyway? Whatever. Touch it once, delete the track. Yeah, because I don't need it, because I did everything solo. So if you drum solo like I typically do, it's pretty simple just to record in each part. Everything sounds louder too because it just does. But anyway, I had the volume up. That's probably why. So there you go. So you can hear it. My newfound friend, which is right there. Love this app. Of course, tonalities there tucked away so I can play some chords that I want. Chord it in. I actually went to patterns so that they would be together. You don't have to do that. I recorded them separate at the time just because I wanted to have two parts. And I wasn't sure what chords I was going to use, so I just recorded them that way. However you want to do it, though, it's fine. And some people may not even want to do this. Like, they might be like, why in the world would you record into the SP, then come back into here? Well, technically, my plan was just to record the SP, but I was just trying this out. So this is just another way to put your stems. If you want to stem out your stuff, you could just stem it out in real time and let it play. Set a looper up here, and then just... Or not even, you don't even have to do the looper. Just take the looper off and then just record it out. All right. So it's like, and I played these in live too. I didn't even stem this out. I just played them in. So I just wanted to see what was possible. All right. So that's it for the Logic Pro. And that's probably the last video maybe you'll see me doing with this, because I don't really use it in my own personal music. So I don't want to be spending a bunch of time doing it. But if you got questions, in the next 10 days, I'll address your questions on it. Outside of that, I do have Logic on the desktop. I can address any of those too if you guys are concerned. All right, that's it for this video. I'm out.